Hi everybody, I'm testing out that little 2 chairs and little table I got at the garage sale, so hopefully the chairs hold me up. I want to tell you, yes, we're all fine. And the reason I'm out here and the orchids are out here is because we're getting intermittent rain. Now so far it's just little sprinkles, but we are getting it, and I'm hoping there's a lot more. They're waiting. It's not their watering day. They're getting a lot more watering done this year than ever. And before I get started, I want to thank Ellen because she sent a PayPal to help with the postage for all our stuff, and Carolyn somehow lost it. And if she hadn't sent me an email to say she hadn't heard her name on the list, I wouldn't have gone back into PayPal and hunted it up. So thank you very much, Ellen. And if there's anybody else out there that never had their name read on the list, please let me know at my email, which I'll put in the descriptions below. So I want to explain about these 2 orchids. Now, about the time I moved my orchids outside, I had these 2 inside all winter, and they would not have survived the greenhouse in the winter. And they were looking terrible, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to just put them out in the greenhouse, and I'm going to leave them there. And when I water the citrus trees, I'll water them. And I had my seeds starting then, and they've been out there the whole time. I haven't brought them in for 1 second. So I just wanted to see what they do, because they weren't doing anything. I mean, they were kind of stagnant, and I thought, well, let's just see how they do out there. And they have been out there all this time. It's been over 140 in that greenhouse, because it's not glass, but it's like glass, and it doesn't have a shade roof. It's just all open, and that's why the lemon tree is looking dead, and I'm hoping to revive it. And the orange tree has some blossoms on it and some dead leaves. And oh yeah, the dendrobium that had moved to the shade over where I keep the cymbidium. Oh dear me, it was, which one was it? It was this one. Whoops, sorry for this. So this, the big Nobel dendrobium, of course, this is the soft cane dendrobium, and they flower from the stalks, and the harder cane ones are much bigger, and these are more of a hybrid. But this is what happened when the sun, I had moved it from the solarium, and I had moved it when it got hot to where I keep the cymbidiums, thinking that's the cool side of the house. All these years I've kept them there. But anyway, look at it, is getting lots of new canes, and it's doing good, and thank goodness I didn't burn it any worse than I did. The other one must have been a little more in the shade, and it seemed okay. So I wanted to show you that. But really, we're doing good. And if anybody out there has a husband or someone they know, anybody that fights fires, please give them a big hug and a kiss from us, because, oh my God, I don't know how they do it. And thank you that there are people that go out there and save our forests, save the animals in the forest, and save our way of life. I mean, they are fighting this fire in extreme circumstances. And today, the smoke let up a bit. There's a little bit of a haze over the mountains, and you can smell it, but not like when it had closed right in and we couldn't see anything. So they've apparently got some of the fires, and there is a lot. And we are surrounded with them in the mopping up stage. So we're thankful for that. And you know, sometimes, and I was getting a bit depressed, I think anyone would, But you know, I told myself, you know, when you go through bad things in your life, whether it's things you can't control, things just happen, like forest fires or anything. Just, you know, when you get your, you know, you can feel miserable for a few days, but when you get over that, just look at all the things we have to be thankful for. Because if nobody fought the forest fires, they would just be burning and burning and burning. If nobody was there to help us in a time of need, we would be falling down some deep hole. So just remember, every time you're going through a rough spell, it helps me anyway, just look at all the things you can be thankful for. That's just what I do, and it perked me up, made me feel better. So anyway, what I want to do is, because these guys have been out there through all that heat. Now, they were on the second shelf, so they never got any direct sun, but they definitely got heat. And you know how you hear what happens. Orchids don't like it over 90 something. So, and they slow down their growth when it gets too hot too. So I wanted to bring these. I mean, I can see what they look like from the outside, but let's see what's happening in the inside. And I haven't done that. So I thought, I'm going to just check that out, because you know, these guys are hardier than you think. And this also shows that they do better to be dry than to be overly wet. And the key word, overly wet. So, and as you know, this is just bark, no moss. So let's dump it in here. I'll just dump this bark in. It's dry because I didn't go out and water today. Now, let's see what we got. It's wet on the bottom. I've been watering the citrus trees every day, and I've just been, okay, I don't care, you guys are getting water. And it's very wet on the bottom. Okay, just a minute. Okay, I don't know that let's see. There's some roots that are stuck, and I already broke one. And there's some that are rotten because they have been sitting in a boot tray with water on the bottom. So, this is what we got. Even though we got some rot, and we do. This is from sitting in the boot tray. So these are all rotten. But you know what? Look at this. This is from too much water sitting the pot in moisture. So sitting in the pot in moisture, and you can see where it laid. Even though it's in there and it's that hot, I guess it wasn't a good thing, because it went up. Now, like anything, I'm just going to pick some of these off. There. I usually just, you know, if they're firm and solid, leave them, because they may send out some shoots, some new roots at some time. Anything that's solid, I leave, and I could show you that. Oh, it's come free, so we'll just take it. There was one root stuck there. Okay. So, through all this heat, there was new roots coming. One there. Look at this one coming in an old root. See, now I learned a lesson too. Even in 140-degree heat, don't have it sitting in a tray of water. I think somebody told me that about my new little, I don't want to repeat the name again, but I had pebble trays. And I have my new little babies in terracotta pots. Now, somebody told me, you know, that will leach up all that moisture. So I had to lower my level of the water. And he was right, because that's what this was doing. But, you know, it's getting a new leaf. And it has, they're just so, I just want to prove that they're so hardy. There's new roots coming here. And that, of course, new root. And this had started to come on an old root, and lots of times they do that. And there's a tiny little one coming there. So I think I got the worst off, and I'm going to, it is really wet in the bottom. I want to show you that. So here I thought, because it was so hot, and this is a lot of the biggest mistakes. I was setting it in that pot, and it seeped up. And this one, of course, is flat bottom, so we'll see how the other one is. So that is quite wet. And I'm going to just put this one in here, and I'll repot it, and I will bring the poor thing in case we get more heat. Today it is, I think it's about, oh, we woke up and it was 72, but I think it's it's just cooler and cloudier, and we're waiting for the rain. And I found the perfect dish for the top of the misting bowl that will hold an orchid and stop the mist from coming out and messing up your tables or whatever. That is coming back, and actually it wasn't me. We were at this garage sale, and Jack found it in the free box. It's just a perfect match. You wouldn't believe how perfect. The same design and everything. So that is going good. And this morning, Jack pressure washed the stand to make sure, for the traffic cone, to make sure it was nice and clean. So I'll be starting that painting job, and hey, we are looking at July sometime. How exciting. Okay, let's see how this one's now. This one is sitting on feet, so it may not have got so wet, but we'll find out. It's soaking wet in the bottom. So you guys out there, if you're using these trays, make sure they're not sitting. I always, when I have them out on the patio, I have a bowl of water, or a tray of water, and I always sit an upside down dish or something to raise my orchid above the thing. So there you go. And this is how wet it is, even though it's been so hot in there. So that's a good lesson learned. And okay, here's this one. Let's see how this one is. Okay. Both of them have new leaves coming. This one has a new leaf. It's amazing they didn't die out there. So we're going to rescue them. And see, look at this, is all from that because it's too hot. Lots of times they even miss their watering, but they had that tray. So lesson learned, lesson learned. You're never so perfect you can't learn something new. So anyway, we have some new roots, we have some healthy roots, and we have some new leaves. So you know what, I should give them some nice clean bark. I'll save the good bark. And we'll use that. So that has to be cleaned up. Look how messy. Look how messy. So if you have if any tray with water, make sure you have something where they sit above the water. Yes, they're getting the humidity. I really didn't think that it would do that out there because it was so hot. Well, there you go. So I want to show you what's happening here before we finish. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Maggie. Maggie has been so good through all this because she likes her walkie-walkies, don't you? Do you like walkie-walkies? You do? You like walkie-walkies? But you can't go yet, pretty soon, because it's so hot. She's been missing out. But it's a little cooler today. And lots of times if we just make it to the mailbox, I probably shouldn't have said that. Okay, let's have a quick look over here. Okay, I've got the stand on here. Okay, these ones I brought in from outside. have a close look. Of course, this is the new one, and there's nice new roots coming down in there. That is a good sign. That is a very good sign. So this is the leaf we tied up. And you know, that was Jack's idea, and it is still limp. We tied it up because I don't know, it might have been helping a bit. But anyway, the new leaves, this one's not too bad. But it was in such a bad way in there. Now, there's I'll show you, like, there's an old root with a little thing coming already. And over here, you have a new leaf, new roots, new leaf. Lots of things happening. And this one over here, this is the one I repotted, and it's got new roots coming. So the big lip fell has opened. And you know, I brought her in from the heat, and she'd lost the flower, a bud. But the flowers are bigger when I got her, but I think the next flowering next year will be back to normal. So she's just out here for a minute because we don't want her to lose any more. And of course the yellow one's still in flower from end of December sometime. It's totally amazing. And there's still something happening here. So thank you, everybody. And we're all fine. Now I'm going to go to the back, see if I can see, we do have clouds here today. This is off and on all day. They're calling for showers, and I sure hope we get them. So, okay, Maggie, come with Mom. Okay, we're all gone. We gotta go, don't we? Do we gotta go? Come on.